front, and he already has a beer in front of him. And he sees you guys, and he gives you a wide smile and kind of waves you over.
All right, I'll join him at his table.
Still blame my YouTube for making me cough. Every time I try to do a video, I cough.
Honestly, the more often I speak into a microphone, the more often I feel the urge to cough when speaking. It's kind of weird.
It is weird. It is very weird. But either way, I'm guessing all you guys are going to wind up going to sit down with him. When you guys sit down, he gives you another smile. And again, you guys are kind of struck, just like you did in his office. You guys are struck by how authentic of a person J. Martinez feels. Professor Martinez feels. He doesn't seem like a kind of duplicitous person that would try to mislead you or anything. He's very almost an open book. And when you sit down, he offers he offers to call the waitress over, and goes ahead and does it. And of course, waitress comes over and takes orders for drinks if you want anything to drink or eat, and kind of scurries away, thinking you guys are probably hungry at this point, so you're probably going to want to order. That's up to you.
Yeah, I'll definitely get probably mid-range. I'm not going to try to break the bank for this guy, since I assume he's paying.
Yes. Yes, he offered, and as you order, he looks at you and says, "Go ahead and get what you want. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it." And he's, like I said, he's very polite, very, very jovial.
Okay, I'll start some chit chat with him. It's like, so Professor, how long have you been with the college?
He tells you about 10 years at this point. He's been the head of the department about 8.
Yeah, I was reading some stuff in the library. I just looked at the old school papers, and I saw that scandal about Hughes almost getting terminated because of the standards slipping. Do you have any inside dirt on that? That would be fascinating to find out about.
He tells you that that in his opinion, because that happened not too long after he became head of the department, that they started playing a little too loose with their admission standards, and they had too many students coming in that weren't actually prepared for the rigor. That as far as he's concerned, it wasn't that the standards slipped as much as the administration was trying to look like they were bringing in the right kind of students. And you can tell pretty quickly that he 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 has a very specific student in mind when he thinks of the type of students that should come to this school.
Got it. So pretty much anybody that doesn't fit his specific type is considered subpar.
Yeah, or ill prepared. And it's not done in a like hateful way. It's more of a I want my students to succeed kind of way.
Yeah,
and they're only going to succeed if they're prepared to take on the work.
So why did they reduce the standards to attend the college?
Again, he looks at these. I think they were just trying to look better to other academics. This is always a tough subject matter to tackle because you don't want to sound bad, but academics have changed so much in the last couple of decades. Schools want to bring in certain students to look like they're bringing in the right people, and in the case of our program, they didn't feel like they had enough female students, I believe.
Is it possible that part of the issue might be that they decided that they just simply needed to increase the number of students they were intaking?
He looks at you and says, that's very possible. Although when they started that program under Hughes, they they only had about 15% of the student body was female when he started the program. By the time it had become a problem, they had increased it to about 25 or 28%. But the problem is a lot of those female students were either quitting and transferring to other schools or failing out. And he gives you a quick look and says, "Don't take that the wrong way. I have nothing against female engineers, but a lot of the professorate refused to lower their standards, grading standards, simply so that Professor Hughes could look better."
Yeah, that's understandable.
And he takes a good bite of steak and finishes chewing and says, "Believe it or not, there are some academics that believe in academic rigor." And kind of chuckles at that. You pick up that this guy probably reads the academic trades. He probably reads stuff like Chronicle of Higher Education and stuff like that pretty regularly.
I mean, the whole point of education is to promote standards and show people how to do things the right way. So you would expect people to, care about whether their organization is seen as being doing things the right way.
He looks at you. Maury looks at Fenton and says, "Exactly. We're a small college. I don't think it matters if we have the correct balance of students or the right demographics. It's more important to the professors here that we turn out the right kind of graduates."
Yeah, you want a degree from your college to mean something, and that is usually accomplished by having it, have useful learning in it, and not just be a rubber stamp that they attended class.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when I look at my students, I don't see their demographics anyways. I see the student who needs a little extra help maybe, or the student who's really excelling and may be able to test out of some of the lower level requirements.
Do you think that could be related to the glitch in the database? Like somebody's trying to manipulate grades to let those lower standard students pass?
That's certainly a possibility, but Professor Hughes certainly doesn't have the technical expertise to do it, but that doesn't mean that somebody close to him couldn't be doing it. I mean, we are in the age of the internet after all.
I mean, given the nature of the system, anyone who has access to the system could, in theory, be the culprit. And at present, we don't really have much in the way of ways to narrow that down because we haven't figured out how the culprit is gaining access in the first place. We don't even know if it's legit access or if someone it has unauthorized access and is using that to mess things up.
He pulls out his phone and he's got a Samsung phone with a bigger screen, one of the bigger the plus phones, the like S26 Plus or whatever the heck it's called now. That has like the huge like 12-inch screen, and he puts it on the table. "I promised you I'd talk more openly about it once we were out of the office. Let me show you the logs here, so you can see kind of what it's showing as far as people logging into the back end for the databases." And he pulls out a log again. Atomic, you and Fenton both very quickly understand exactly what you're reading. Um, it is a time-stamped log that looks like it's probably not manipulable. It's almost like the commits on GitHub, and it shows pretty standard commits, pretty standard logins. And most of them are Professor Martinez. And he explains, well, you see where I've logged in, that's mostly me going in to check the back end, but occasionally I have to log in and do a little bit of maintenance and occasionally some cleanup. And he kind of chuckles and he looks mostly at you, Atomic, and says, you seem like you know enough about tech to understand what I'm talking about.
Yep, maintenance never ends. Software is never done. So you said most of the logins were his. What are the other ones?
He said, I saw a couple on here, and he finds one, and he says, I don't recognize the username, and the username looks like a weird series of consonants and vowels with some numbers mixed in. I've never seen it do that before.
That's an interesting thing because it's the sort of text string you would get from a random character generator.
Mhm.
Sort of thing someone would use when they're getting an unauthorized access as a way to not put any sort of a name on the account at all.
Yeah, but somebody would have had to have created that account. And therefore, do we have logs of the account creation? And is there any personal information associated with it?
No. Normally what you would do is you would see the username and you would know. And again, he pulls up one of his and you see that it's like j.martinez at, I forgot the university's name, at mapleton.edu.
I glanced down at my phone and see a message from Eddie. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, have you? What about the students' classwork? Have you noticed any change or read any of their finished stuff over the last few years, especially since that new program went in place?
He says, yeah, I've actually had some pretty brilliant students come through. A couple of them have posited some pretty interesting theory on the advancement of programming. But I don't think a student would be capable of doing something like this. This requires some intimate knowledge of how our system works. And for good or ill, we certainly would never let students play around with our systems like that. Sorry, my lighter's all soaked in Coke.
That's interesting. It's really a bit of a conundrum. I'll be right back. I have to hit the restroom. I'll get up and then I'll text Eddie. I'll just type it in the private chat. Pretty much what we heard here. Actually, that'll be easier than typing it. So I'll just text Eddie that none of the students seem to be ridiculously brilliant and capable of doing this kind of thing.
As you excuse yourself, he turns to Mar and he says, the other weird thing about this is not just the time commits. It seems like the time commits are at times when nobody should have access to the server room. In fact, the building itself is locked down. The only way into the building after hours is with a pass card, typically a faculty pass card that only a handful of faculty would have outside of, say, a janitorial staff.
Do we know the method by which these unknown users were accessing the system?
He says that's where it gets really fun. He pulls up the commit and he actually opens one of the commits, the random commits, and it looks like it's coming from the server room. He says that IP is directly tied to the server room.
So someone in the server room, presumably.
Yeah, and he says, and that's the weird thing. Only a handful of people have access to that. Not even the president of the college has the access to that.
Which makes me wonder if maybe it is not the administrators doing this, but someone who is more on the technical side.
Yeah.
Yeah. How they're getting in. Yeah.
As he's talking to him, because going to the bathroom doesn't take that long, even if you're texting.
Yep.
just in time for the end of that little clipped conversation. And he looks at you and says, "If you had to take a swing, this is something that I've wondered. Without running some type of, say, API script, how else would you spoof that IP address? I mean, you can't just reassign that IP address because it's technically an internal IP."
Well, the first option that comes to mind, it's probably not the only one, but the first one that comes to mind is actually more disturbing than the idea that someone snuck in and used the computer when it was supposed to be closed. Is that someone has a thing set up to bounce off of that IP, which would indicate that there's another level of unauthorized access to your system.
Yeah, somebody added added a box inside of the server room that's on the server network, but that would still be they'd still require access to get into it.
Yeah, it's like that's why I was saying is even more disturbing is that they added hardware to your network without your knowledge. Not just unauthorized access. That I don't know.
He looks at both of you kind of thoughtfully and says, "I hadn't thought of that." But
Yeah.
I mean,
going back to the students, is there any paper or classwork that's done fully on paper that the grades are never entered in the system, or that have grades written on them in a big red pin, something like that? And
most of our essays are done electronically anymore. We have to run them through automatic plagiarism checkers and all that stuff. Again, welcome to the internet age.
I see. So pretty much everything goes through that gets graded goes through the computer system.
In some capacity. I mean, a lot of professors still print out their students' papers and grade them by hand. I know I do. I tend not to let the computer grade for me. I do have to follow protocols for running through plagiarism checker and everything, but when practical, I still do my grading by hand. I guess some habits do die hard.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to get hands-on with things. But yeah, it seems like the problem is the server room, and only you and some other staff have access to it.
And the head janitor has access to it, and he's only supposed to go in there about once a week. Unfortunately, I don't have access to pull the files for access. That's a part of their union contract.
Oh, I see. So that's a separate system.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, just in some degree, it makes sense. They don't want people basically spying on them or knowing where they're at all the time, other than the people that should know.
And you said the janitor is supposed to be there once per month?
Once per week.
Oh, once per week. Is there like a picture of the janitor on like the employee page of the college or something?
He tells you no, but he said he thinks for a minute. He says, "Give me a second. I might actually have a picture of him." And he goes through his phone gallery for a minute, and he goes back it looks like he goes back has to go back several months, and he pulls up a picture from the college Christmas gala, and he points out an older looking gentleman, kind of gray hair, taller, kind of heavy set. That right there is Luis. He's been with the college going on about 25 years now.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so does this guy look anything like Halston, that student? That I'm just asking as as a player.
No.
Okay.
No. He in fact, when you get a look at him, like if he hands you his phone, you're able to like zoom in on him a little bit. He's kind of nondescript. Like he's the kind of janitor you want. He just blends into the background.
All right, that's good to know.
And while you're looking at that picture, he says, "I'll be honest with you, our janitorial staff is amazing. They don't really get in the way. You know, you hear stories about unions and staffs at colleges that have problems with their unions and sub-unions and all that other stuff, and we really haven't. The union contract has stayed pretty steady since I've been there and been here, and Luis only hires the best people for the job. He he gets pretty good lateral control over who he brings in on his staff.
Oh, that's interesting. So he can hire people. Would they also have access, or is it only him that has access to the server room?
He says absolutely not. We try to limit the staff in the server room unless somebody do something stupid like break a switch or a server rack.
Interesting. And so the key cards, is it just the card access, or is there anything biometric to go with it?
He says there are no biometrics, but the cards are RFID tagged to location. So they have all your information stored directly on the card. And if you report your card stolen, that card's RFID number is immediately deactivated.
Okay.
He said, I kind of found that out on accident.
Oh, yeah, that kind of thing happens.
He does tell you that, interestingly enough, he kind of, again, he takes another good bite of a steak and then pushes his plate away as he's done eating. He says, what's interesting is I was part of the committee here a couple of years ago that updated our badge scan system, or authorized it anyways. They brought in an outside consultant to do most of the work.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you know anything about them?
They came highly recommended. They came out of Tulsa. Apparently, they do a lot of work with high-end secure companies. The last thing I heard they had done after us, or more recently anyways, was they had set up a new Volt supply setup for a grain company in Tulsa.
All right.
Which, by the way, if you're not aware of how tightly secured grain companies and stuff are, yeesh.
I can imagine that's
the Pentagon.
It's
yeah. They have security that rivals the Pentagon. So these guys apparently are. Again, that's for you and Mar would both know. If they're doing that level of work, they have to have some type of good reputation.
Well, also Felton did take a look around the campus in the short time when he was there, and was looking at the sort of security hardware he saw.
Yeah.
Because that's actually one of the things that you learn when you are in environments like that, is that the public-facing security doors look very innocuous unless you know what to look for, and you're like, oh yes, that door requires you to enter a keypad to open it, and that sort of thing.
Yes.
And so he was looking for that kind of thing while he was there.
I forgot you did that, so let me backtrack a little bit. While you did that, you did notice their RFID readers, and they did look fairly high-end. Not quite brand new, but definitely newer within the last 5 years, technology-wise. They have a red laser on them, like a red laser ball on them, which is where you would have to touch the RFID to. And they're smaller boxes than you're used to. Because if you see RFID, when you think RFID badge scanners, you think of like the badge size ones are bigger. These are kind of tiny. They're probably about half the size of the normal one.
Something nice and discreet.
Nice and discreet. And then on top of it, because you are looking for security, you notice that there are security cameras. There were security cameras that look fairly newer as well in most of the common areas in the school. Hallways, break rooms, things like that. When you poked your head in the classroom, there were no cameras in the classroom. But in most common areas, you did see signs that there was non-physical security as well. So on top of the scan-ins, you would be aware that they record everything. I forgot you did that. I should have led with that.
Yeah, this is just like one of those things. It's just kind of like
Yep.
like one-liner when we came up the first time.
Yeah, you're all good. I mean, I'm human. I'm gonna make plenty of mistakes.
Can't remember everything.
Exactly right.
Anyway, though, so we know that these school has some pretty above average security systems, so that someone would have to get through this security system in order to get into the server room. It's not like they can just sneak in the back door.
He says, absolutely not. Like I said, after hours, anything but the dorms are secured by RFID lock.
And
Yeah,
this
but we don't
access
have
was
the,
after hours when all of the doors should have been locked.
Yeah. And he tells you after hours for this school typically means after about 7 o'clock. Because that's when the last of the classes will end. Late classes will typically go from like 5 to 7.
And usually the staff will go home shortly after that.
Yes.
Yeah, and the college staff doesn't have access to the RFID card reader logs, but that's handled by the security contractor that installed them.
He tells you he's not sure. He does mention that they do have a security company that works the campus, but the security company is very small, which would explain why you guys didn't really see them. They mostly are responsive rather than proactive because they're so small. He'd have to check into it. They may have access to it. He's never really investigated it because he's never had a reason to.
Okay, yeah, I think that would be a good way to go. And I think, yeah, we should try to find a way to access the server room ourselves and look around.
Really quick, I want to send a text message to both of them because I'm going to be at location, but I want to send them my notes, basically. Pretend I'm like I was spending all this free time just typing it all out.
Yep.
So what we know right now is all right. Let me find the right one. Give me 1 second.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Burping in your ears, not meaning to.
Oh no, so sorry about that. Like I accidentally closed it. I got to reopen it.
Oops.
Okay, so do you guys remember Sally?
Yeah, you're talking about the admissions check.
Yeah. She specifically said that they don't focus on hiring the best and brightest. They go for more civics minded.
Mm.
And let's see. Follow up.
Yeah, I remember the librarian was.
Admissions doesn't prioritize intelligence. Sorry, I was looking for the wrong note. She said specifically, we do not look for students just based on the criteria of intelligence. And if you remember from the conversation, they bypassed the standard ACT and SAT scores in favor of finding students who are civic-minded and want to make a difference.
Oh yeah, that's right. She said test scores over ACTs and SATs. So like not the standardized test, but like entry test or something.
The slipping grades crisis happened just 1 year ago, and it shows that these students are still students here that weren't, doing great. Grades were slipping, are now doing amazingly well. President Hughes was on the verge of being fired. Here's an interesting one. Dean Martinez mentioned that they are smart kids.
Yep.
And he knows that the entire database of perfect A's is impossible, and blah blah blah. Administration goes through a lot of fluff to explain that their claims of high level intellectual rigor that rivals MIT, but nothing but academic puffery and jargon designed to sell that particular
Yes.
idea,
Yes. And one of the other things
which
she
is very
mentioned,
strange.
one of the other things that you mentioned, she did mention they try to draw from technical high schools and charter schools.
Yeah, so kind of
Oh,
like
I
picking
forgot
this
to write that down.
body to ensure success.
Yeah. They're looking for people who are already interested in this type of work.
And there's a little note right here. Um, uh, Dean Martinez is not the dean, correct? He's the professor. I just want to make that clear.
He's the dean of the College of Engineering and Computer Science.
Okay. He's claiming that he's the only person that has access to the server room, and that's the only place that has security, from what my notes say.
No, there was the janitor also has access to the server room.
Yeah. The head janitor. His name is Luis.
Yep, that's
Head
right.
janitor.
But the access is by RFID card, and so anybody with the card can get in because there's no biometric.
Yeah, they're biometrics.
And the cards. I don't know if it's possible to clone them, or you could also like steal it and return it and that kind of thing. Because if he's in there once a week and doesn't use it at other times, then you have time to steal it and put it back.
That is a weakness certain styles of RFID chips have, is that you can use a detector to detect the RFID chip signature if you get close enough to it.
Yes, that's absolutely true. But that's where the idea that the company that installed this system, if they're doing integrated work with big name like Pentagon level whole security, the chances are they probably put some type of dampener on the card, which would be weird and piss, but you can do it.
See, that's a trick though, that the best way of doing a dampener for those cards is to sheath them when you're not actively using them.
Yeah.
And like the only other trick that works just reduces the effective range, so you literally have to tap the receiver with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
could also do some kind of like encryption and have like a key exchange, so where like you get the signal, but it doesn't help you.
Well, and again, you're talking to Professor Martinez. He doesn't know the inner workings of exactly what this system is, because he was involved in approving the budget for it, but he didn't install it himself. So
yeah, he's not a digital locks technician. He's just a guy who does academic study.
Mm-hmm. And he clearly is a pretty brilliant programmer. Your conversation from talking to him and him getting into the finer points of the commits and all that stuff should have proven to you guys throughout just even casual conversation that he's a pretty competent programmer himself. If he was not working at this school, he could be working at a big programming company, probably in a leadership role. I mean, it's pretty clear that Professor Martinez is not a dummy.
Yeah. So shifting tracks here, is that we need to establish motive, and keeping the school from going bankrupt due to having too many students fail would seem a possible motive. Yeah.
Yes. If during the small talk you bring up that idea that, ask him about the budget, he does mention that the endowment for the school is not large, especially considering other schools in Oklahoma, say like University of Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Tulsa. in comparison, even to in-state schools, this school's endowment is fairly small, so they can take a big hit.
Hmm. Well, that's one because like that's the first thing is that like having random people who aren't academy personnel uh messing with the system, like okay, but what's their goal with messing with the system? You're not going to have a random hacker hack in just to unless the goal is to cause chaos, and the end result was a plan to just like make everyone doubt whether any of the diplomas were legitimate. That I could see as a potential reason for just going in at random, but this doesn't seem to be that. It's
Well, Hughes was almost terminated when the grades were slipping, so he has a motive to bring the grades up regardless of how it happens.
yeah. Because like
Um,
if all the people who are double checking things actually look at is what the system spits out when you pull a report, then they would never know whether or not any of the data that the report is showing them is actually legit.
Yep, and that gets back to Eddie's question about paperwork. So if everything goes through the computer, then it's all malleable. It's just data that can be manipulated. But yeah, now I think we have like these two leads with the security contractor and the janitorial service. I think either of those would be good places to look.
yes.
Oh,
Um,
Eddie sends a text message out of nowhere. Ask about President Hughes. Now that you're away from school.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, now. So Professor Martinez, what's the dirt on Professor Hughes now that we're away from campus?
he tells you that as far as he's concerned, Professor Hughes has always been a good leader, but unfortunately, during the troubles, he tries to choose a comfortable word, that it appeared that he had been listening to outside people that were telling him bad advice. And it was more about, and that after everything kind of started clearing up, he did take responsibility, kind of, but at the same time, he also wasn't 100% sure, that he had done anything wrong.
Oh, that's interesting. What kind of outsiders and what kind of bad advice?
Like I said, I think he was listening to people telling him that demographics and things that really don't matter in the technical world were more important than the work, than being able to actually do the work. Like I said, Professor Hughes isn't a technical guy, so he's never worked in a office. He's never been around coders or the people who build the architecture.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And he looks at you again. You can see he looks a little guilty right now because he feels like he's talking bad about the students for being like a specific demographic. But at the same time, you can tell that he authentically feels that it's a bad idea to put people in positions where they're going to fail because you're not really doing them any favors. That weird dichotomy.
Yep. Yeah, it is said to set up students to fail.
Yes.
It's a very kind of strange thing is that like on paper it looks like they're given an opportunity to succeed, except that there's no way for them to actually do that.
He looks at you and he gets kind of bright eyed and says, "Exactly." like I said, most of the professors at this college have been here for a long time. Oddly enough, we don't have a lot of turnover even for our adjuncts.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Said I absolutely love it. I've worked with a lot of the same professors for a long time. If I can give you a suggestion, honestly, um, the professor that's been here the longest is Professor Hillary Foster. She's the lead professor for the computer sciences. She's my direct reportee. She handles a lot of the back end work that I don't have time for.
What's your name again?
Hillary Foster. It's there on the screen, the bottom name.
Oh, my bad. I wasn't even
Oh no,
looking at.
you're good. Oh, I see. You're playing video games instead of playing with us.
No, I'm writing in Obsidian, but I'm actually writing on a notepad. Well, actually, I'm not even listening in. Just ignore me. Damn it.
You're not here. But he tells you if you want to know more about, she may even know a little more about the security system. She knows a lot about computer science, but she also has a pretty good background in computer security systems, computer-based security systems as well.
That's good to know. Yeah, we'll see if we can help her.
Okay. Right about that time, his phone goes off with an alert, and he pulls his phone back across the table really fast and checks the alert. And it appears that something's going wrong with the servers at the school. And he quickly tries to log in, and you can see it on his screen. And for the briefest second, right as it logs in, it gives him an error, but right before the error, you get the briefest glimpse of what looks like a face.
Well, that's not good.
Well, yeah.
What did the face look like? Did we have time to get an impression?
No, it's literally that fast. It's split second.
Yeah.
Was it human?
No, you're not there. Stop asking questions, metagamer.
That's one of those things where the whole like, well, when you've eliminated all of the things that you had considered, what have you not considered yet? And one of the things we hadn't brought up is the computer literally haunted?
Also possible.
Hey, man, it's the Hoffman Institute. You never know.
I mean, it would explain why we were chosen to deal with it and not, someone who's an actual career computer technician that normally handles things like this.
Precisely. Just as a side note, I do appreciate your comment there, Jason. And I do appreciate you watching us. We don't get enough views. Do you guys have anything else you want to probe him about while he's freaking out about the server room having an error, throwing errors?
I'll ask him if he noticed the face.
He looks down, puts his phone down for just a second, kind of on the table, and says, I thought I saw a face, but I could have sworn I was imagining it.
Okay, well, that's something we're going to have to ponder later because, yeah, seemingly that was a real face. And I don't believe that the code of this computer system is actually coded to show that face.
Yes. Both of you guys, go ahead and give me a knowledge computer ops. Now that the phone's on the table, you can see the error that it's throwing.
All right, let me find that one.
And just do it at base. It's going to be a base situation, guys. So just a d20.
Oh, wait a minute. Here we go.
You guys aren't under like immense stress or anything, and he's not trying to hide it or anything.
Knowledge computer ops. So I do have a rank in there. So yeah, 1263, and I'm just trying to get a 12 or under, pretty much, right?
Yes. Yep.
I got an 8.
Okay, so you got an ordinary success.
So I guess I need a 15 or lower. Okay.
Yes. Over you.
15 or lower, and I get a nat 20. Okay.
You crit fail. You know how we describe that? You're not paying close enough attention to it. You're too bothered by the face you saw. But Arthur does notice it. Arthur, this error that it's throwing is not it is not a software error.
Oh, that's interesting.
This is a hardware error. Somewhere in one of the racks, part of the RAID service is malfunctioning. And no, I don't care what RAID it is. It's probably RAID 0 or RAID 3, but I'm not going to get into that.
Actually, given the circumstances, it could be if something is attempting to compromise the database by manually rewriting the data on the hard drive directly,
Mhm.
it could be coded in a way that is bypassing RAID and causing a mirroring conflict because of the fact that it's only overwriting one of the two disks at a time.
Yep. Well, and I was trying to remember which RAID it is that does striping, that writes it to multiple disks at once.
Honestly, for a
Data.
situation like this, one of the things that would actually be best is a full data mirror, and that's exactly the sort of thing that that's what I was going off of in that description I just gave. It's like a full data mirror. If the RAID controller detects that the disks are no longer properly mirrored, it will give you some interesting errors.
Yes. But either way, right now, this is a RAID disk failure. This is one of the RAID disks is throwing an error. And after a minute, Jay picks his phone up and he excuses himself, says, I have to go take care of this. On top of everything else that's going on, now the hardware is failing.
All right. Well, thank you for dinner, and good luck fixing that.
He says, it was an interesting conversation. You've given me a couple things to think about. I'm going to have to look into some of that. And like I said, go talk to Hillary. She's always worth a conversation, if nothing else.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because this RAID stuff, that also feeds into our many worlds hypothesis. Like there's alternate data from somewhere else coming in. If they're doing it in such a way that it's staggered and part of the RAID array gets manipulated before the whole thing does, they might throw some errors like that.
Yep. Hey, Atmos, I'm going to come back to you, but give me a second. If anyone needs to take a bio break, I got to pee really fast. So now would be time to go do it.
All right.
Remember, I'm breaking into the president's house.
You still there, Atmos? Did you walk away for a second?
Yeah, I'm here.
So we'll go ahead and sorry about that, guys. Been drinking too much. It's like 90 degrees outside of here, and so I've been chugging fluids lately.
No issues.
Anyways.
I'm dealing with thunderstorms and rain.
Oh, they're getting ready to come through here. We're well prepared for them. Even if they break up over the mountains, they'll hit us because I'm on the side of a mountain. But anyways, so you're going to try to get into the president's house, right?
Yes. I was
Right, so
hoping
you-
I was going to do it at the same time, but I guess he lives far away,
That's
right?
fine. You can do it at the same time. The only problem is he might be home. you can go in there like a robber. Just
Well,
a
I'm
couple
going to
felonies.
case the house first on the outside.
That's fine. You know what? This is the second time in a game you've broken into somebody's house.
In this game?
No, in a game I've run.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
You almost got caught last time.
Yeah. Hopefully there's not a maid in the house.
Yeah, well, you botched your roll, so last time.
Okay.
Anyways, you pull up to a house. It's a nice house. Not quite like millionaire nice, but this guy probably makes a comfortable living. You can tell. You know, when you pull up, two nice cars in the driveway, nice, well manicured lawn. Trying to think what have Greckin. No, they'd have more of like a ranch style. So think a really nice like ranch style home. They wouldn't have a Greckin or anything like that. So think a nice like 2-level ranch home.
Mm-hmm.
Not painted like a dull color on the outskirts of town, and it has a pretty nice sized yard.
Is his car parked outside?
Yes, there are 2 cars parked outside.
2 cars.
So apparently this guy is married.
Interesting. I'm going to hide behind a bush or something, and I'm going to peer through the windows from afar.
Okay, give me just a second. That's going to be a roll. I need to actually grab a book. My stack of books that's underneath my chair somehow. What books are those? I don't even know what books those are. Oh, that's where the rest of those books went. My house. You find books randomly. I have 2 copies of Children of the Mind, apparently. No, I don't need that. Is that everything? Yeah, that's everything. Okay. Sorry. Looking up what exact skill that's going to be. Because you are watching. I believe that's going to be perception. Yeah, that's awareness perception.
Okie dokies. I'll be rolling awareness perception.
And since he's not aware you're there, do it at a 1-step bonus.
1-step bonus. So 1-step bonus is plus D4 or minus D4?
Minus D4. Minus D4. Remember, you want to roll low.
Okay. I got 1.
Nice. You critically succeed. So exactly what are you looking for here? That's the $1,000,000 question.
I want to figure out which rooms is currently occupied.
Okay.
Like what lights are on? It's 7 o'clock, right?
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
Or
it looks like the front left of the house seems to be lit up, and from what you can see through the window, it appears to be like a living room, sitting room kind of setup.
Mhm.
Because he's an academic, he doesn't have like a 55-inch TV blaring sports. You're a little too far away to get a great look at it, but rolling a crit, you do notice 2 people moving around in the living room. And I'll give you the bonus. As you're scanning the front of the house, you notice around the side of the house, there's a pretty decent looking doghouse.
So they have a dog.
Yes.
Oh. Okay, that changes my plan.
Yes, probably does.
I'm going to walk up to the door and I'm going to knock on it.
It takes a couple of minutes. Somebody comes to the door. A older looking lady comes to the door. By older, I mean she's in her probably early 60s, late 50s. And she says, "Yes, how can I help you?"
Hi, my name is Jeremy Holt. I'm a reporter for the what's it called? Tulsa Inquirer.
Tulsa
I'm
Inquirer.
I'm just gonna bullshit.
Okay.
I would like to ask a few questions about like the huge turnaround at the university.
She smiles and says, "Oh, that's wonderful. Let me get my husband." And she disappears
Right.
into the house, and she brings back President Hughes. And for the first time, you meet him.
Uh,
You've seen pictures of him and stuff in the newspapers and everything, but he's a jovial-looking, middle-aged, kind of older, a little bit older gentleman, and he's probably around 60, 65 years old. Uh, Thinning hair on top, kind of very no longer salt and pepper, but kind of dark gray. Not quite. He's not quite heavy set, but he's not real thin either. He's kind of right in that medium where he's starting to get a little pudgy.
Mhm.
And he's still dressed in what looks like a really nice dress shirt, but he doesn't have his tie on. His top button's unbuttoned, and you could tell that it probably wasn't long ago he was probably in a suit.
Nice. I reach in to grab a pencil out of my pocket, and I'm going to turn on my tape recorder as
Gotcha.
I have my notebook out,
Okay.
and I introduce myself. And
Okay.
I was wondering if you could ask a few questions for a story, because what you've done with that school was nothing short of miraculous.
He kind of smiles and says, "I'd be happy to answer a few questions, but I'm curious, why didn't you try to schedule this through my assistant?"
Uh, I've been uh, I've been running ragged. Uh, I am glad that you are nice enough to take a few questions, but I have a bit too much off my plate. I'm new at the Inquirer, you see.
You
Shit.
know what? You are clearly bluffing. Give me a deception bluff
Oh
at
god.
a one-step penalty, because you are clearly in over your head here.
Yes. Well, I'm not going to get bit by a dog, so this is my plan B.
Fair enough.
My deception, and it's a bluff, which I do have a point in.
Yep.
Alrighty, let's just see how this works.
And like I said, one-step penalty, so plus 1d4.
8, 9. Mine's a 9, but I rolled an 8. Oh shit!
So you fell. Nice. He looks really skeptical at you and says, "Honestly, son, let me give you my card. Give a call to my assistant and see if we can set something up. I should have some free time over the next couple of days. Honestly, it's very awkward to have you here at my home."
Oh, that's what he's saying after I won.
Oh, you won. I thought you lost. Sorry. I thought you said
I
you
rolled an
fell.
8, but my skill's a 9.
Oh, I thought you said I got it backwards. Sorry. No, never mind. Back up. No, he still looks skeptical at you because you just got an ordinary success and says, "That's understandable. Why don't you come on in? We'll go sit down in my office."
Thank you, sir. And then
And he
get
leads you
inside.
into a very well apportioned house. The furniture in this house is more than you make. Some of the furniture in this house probably costs more than you make in a year.
Oh dear.
Yeah, these people are well off. Hey man,
Where
president of a college doesn't get paid like chump change.
do I see the dog?
You do. Out from the living room area comes a golden retriever.
Oh, okay.
And he comes right up to you and starts like sniffing at your legs.
Awesome. Which room am I being led to?
He leads you down a hallway and to a room at the back end of the house, and it opens up into an office that's lined with 6-foot bookshelves full of academic text. He's leading you into his office.
Yes.
And he has 2 very, very nice leather chairs in there. And he goes and he goes and sits in one and points to the other and says, "Please, please sit down. Sit down. Make yourself at home."
Ready.
And as you're sitting down, he said, "Would you care for a drink?"
Sure.
And he calls for his wife and asks her to bring both of you guys a sweet tea because this is fucking Oklahoma.
Awesome.
They still believe in sweet tea there.
I take the time to text my boss in quotation marks, and I thank him again for the privilege of this ill-timed interview that you're literally saving my neck.
He smiles at you very broadly and says, "Well, I was young once. You don't get where I'm at without climbing a few ladders."
So I want to inquire about how did you manage this turnaround with all the students? Like, from whatever.
The biggest thing we did was going back to our original rigor. I should have never listened to that consulting group.
The consulting group.
Yes, I hired a consulting group to do an audit of the college campus environment, and their findings were less than flattering.
Less than flattering, you say?
All kinds of buzzwords and terminology and speak I didn't understand, but scared the daylights out of me.
Oh. I'm going to continue puffing them up as I look around the room for anything interesting. From my seating position.
Nothing super interesting in here. Like I said, he has a lot of academic text, lots of business text, which gives you a key that he's probably from a business background. He was probably a business major. Lots of things on like macroeconomics and stuff like that.
Economics. That's not going to help me here. I'll sip on the tea.
He looks at you and he continues, says, "Honestly, but if you ask me what led to the turnaround, it wasn't just return to rigor. It's almost like the students we brought in were perfect."
Students you brought in?
The first class after I reversed that policy was, I don't know how else to describe it. They were literally perfect. Academically, behaviorally.
I jot this down. What happened to the students that were not doing great?
A lot of them transferred out or dropped out. Once it became clear we weren't going to change our standards to match their abilities, to be honest with you, I'm not so convinced the professor didn't encourage them to move along.
Can I tell that he's being honest?
Give me an intuition. See how you feel about this guy. And this would be standard. No penalty or bonus to this. That's an awareness skill, by the way.
Roll the 1.
You credited it again. Jeez. He is extremely honest to you. This guy authentically feels guilty for what he did because he almost destroyed this college.
And I asked him. Oh, okay. So there was a consulting company that basically gave him. What's the name of this consulting company?
Brown, and Reach.
Brown, and Reach. Were they the ones that recommended you a, a remedy for the situation?
Oh yes, of course. And the language they used was so strong. It was hard to
Uh,
ignore.
Hard to ignore, you say. Tell me more.
Uh, it, Honestly, in hindsight, it felt more like they were bullying us than they were trying to help us.
Oh God. I'm going to puff them up with some more pleasantries. I'm going to send a text message to both my compatriots and say that uh, I believe the uh, president isn't involved. Need to do research on Brown, and
Brown,
Reach
and Reach.
Consulting Company because it sounds like we're dealing with a cult. And then I'll finish my tea and I'll shake his hand vigorously and make my way out. And I thank him again. Like, you saved my ass here. My boss will be pleased.
As you're leaving, he reaches over to a side table and pulls a card and says, "Please, if you have any more questions, give a call to my assistant.
Uh,
I'm an open book at this point."
I look at the card of the assistant's name,
Rachel.
Rachel.
Give me a generic
Thank you,
name.
sir. And then I'm going to make my way back to. Are we staying at a hotel or are we just homeless?
No, you guys are probably staying at a hotel. I
All right.
thought we had told you guys were staying at like you were like at a mid-grade hotel. You didn't want to go stay at a Roach Motel, but you didn't want to pay for the Hilton.
I somehow did not write that down. So I'm going to go meet up with the rest of the guys.
Okay. So you guys are able to meet back up in the middle here after everything's said and done. At this time, it's probably about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, right? And you're able to share notes.
All right.
What was the name of that consulting company again?
It's called
Brown,
Brown and Reach.
Brown, and Reach.
Yep.
So my thoughts was that the Dean Rodriguez was compromised because he was claiming that all the students are brilliant, which confused me. But from speaking with the president, and I'm sure that he was telling the truth. It seems like all the students have been replaced.
Interesting.
So they're either a cult of brainwashed individuals or they're zombies. Well, don't listen to the zombies part. But.
So, that consulting organization.
They
Well,
pressed the dean.
yeah, but how much actual physical influence have they had here?
Oh, not the dean, the president. My bad. Pressed what?
If you guys take the time to look up Brown Reach online, which is easy enough to do, you realize they're a group out of Oklahoma City, and they actually have a fairly big profile, and they mark themselves on their website as cultural competency consultants.
Why would those guys be doing anything related to high school or college academic credentials? That doesn't.
Because they hired them to do a cultural audit of the campus. That's one of the things he did tell Atmos. They hired him to do a cultural audit.
And they
Yeah.
failed a cultural audit, and he told them that they needed to change a whole bunch of stuff because they failed a cultural audit.
Yes.
Well, I heard audit, and that was good enough for me because it seems like
okay.
This is really strange.
Okay, all of us have worked in the corporate world before. We all know what a cultural audit really means.
Well, to replace all the students is a little bit ridiculous.
Well, I mean, the overall connotation, yes, but the specific mechanisms of how it actually affects you does kind of vary. But yeah, it's just like it sounds like they wanted to figure out whether or not their, shall we say, vibe at the campus was the right vibe, and
Yes.
that these auditors told them it wasn't.
Yes. And the exact words he wound up using towards the end of it was that it felt like they were being bullied by these auditors.
I mean, that's what auditors usually do.
Yeah, exactly. Especially cultural auditors.
So, what was it? What did he say again? Is this a specific reason why they chose to have these guys audit them?
They were trying to make sure that their campus was a modern, basically. That it wasn't too old school or out of touch, basically.
Why did he feel
It's
the need
definitely
to do that?
too old school. So I'm going to ask you guys, like, well, I'm going to assume you guys told me everything that happened during the interview. There's only cameras inside the common rooms, right? But not in the
Yes.
classrooms.
Yeah, not classrooms. Jesus Christ.
Would we have access to like any small cameras that we could plant in a classroom? It might be interesting to see what's going on in there.
You know what? I will say that they were able to give you some like pinhole cameras, basically. Oh, dogs!
Nice.
Dang it! I'm glad I have 2 copies of this book.
Yeah, and so, so yeah, it sounds like we have the janitors, the security consultants, and this Brown, and Reach as our 3 vectors.
Yep.
Yes, like the president was involved, but the president really feels almost like a social engineering exploit. They used him as leverage to get in.
Yes. Based on what Atmos was able to pick up from inside of his office from looking around, this guy is a business and economics guy. He is not an academic at heart, and he is not a technical person at all. He definitely he's the kind of person that a group like that would target specifically because they could manipulate him.
Yeah, you go for, whoever is to put it meanly, soft-minded enough to actually believe your lies.
Yes, pretty much.
Oh, I don't know why I passed this up in my notes. Has our buddy, what's his name?
Robert? Or
Robert?
the professor? Which one? Are you talking about the student that you were worried about? Or
Oh, no. Our comrade in arms that was basically out cold.
Oh, Jonas?
Jonas.
Yep.
I believe one of you guys were following up on the LinkedIn, the address.
Yes. You guys had not had a chance to sit down and do that, though, because you were spending so much time on the campus and then you had the dinner.
Call him for that while I peruse my notes so I could check off some stuff. But I'm thinking aliens.
When all else is great.
Yeah, but there's all the occult books. Demons.
Well, I mean, in modern times, a lot of people seem to be confused about what sort of bizarre otherworldly beings they're talking to. Are they demons? Are they extra dimensional wraiths or are they extraterrestrials? We don't really know. We just know that we're seeing something we can't explain.
Explain exactly. Actually, there's some really like freaky deaky articles online. If you ever get seriously curious, that people argue that aliens are demons.
Yep,
Oh,
I've seen
that's exactly why I brought that topic up.
Yeah, like some of them are pretty wild, crazy. Some of them are actually pretty rational.
Well, I mean, like, it actually got started with some people conflating Bigfoot sightings with flying saucers.
Yes, yes. But anyways, that's a side thing. my dad, my dad's a pastor by trade, so I've been exposed to a lot of that weirdness because he actually believes in UFOs and stuff.
Oh, I have so many thoughts about that. But
Yeah.
that's a
So I've been exposed to a lot of the both the crazy and the sane side of it.
anyway, though, I guess
Are
we
you-
should get back to what we were doing.
Are you sure you're not throwing the final church at us on like the first episode, well, second episode,
Fourth episode. But no,
fourth
not the final
episode?
church.
My bad.
It is not the final church. I promise.
Well, I mean, we're probably slowly moving in that direction. We just haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I could have sworn it was the president. So we have two leads. We have the lead with the LinkedIn because we need to make sure we need to figure out what's happening there. We can also follow up on the I just wrote her name down. The computer
Hillary?
science lady.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is Hillary Foster, I believe, is last name.
Oh yeah,
Hillary Foster.
So we got her as well. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, that's right. Halston's LinkedIn is still active, even though he is supposed to be dead for 2 years.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, that seems suspicious. Yeah, I'll take a look at Halston's LinkedIn then.
You pull up his LinkedIn, and for a dead man, he is very active. Super active. He, in fact, he posted an article as little as a week ago.
Okay, I'll click on his profile. Does it show where he's supposed to be working now, and what does his job history look like, especially over the last 2 years?
He currently has open for work as a tag, but his last job apparently was a freelance consultant. If you dig into his LinkedIn and go through his previous articles and start going back a couple of years, it looks like he tried to do his own startup consulting business and it failed.
Let's see, and that's the last we have available from him.
No, his last is an article on. His last article is an article about some complex API scripting that talks about using API scripts to bypass certain database management techniques.
Okay, that sounds a bit familiar.
Yep.
Are both? I know Atomic's reading this. Are you reading this over his shoulder more?
Sure.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is that's going to trigger both of you guys will get a knowledge computer ops check on that at a -2 step bonus.
All right, so let's see. Knowledge. There we go.
So that'll be a -D6 to the roll.
Okay, knowledge, computer science,
What
or
knowledge? Let me see. Is there computer science knowledge?
oh, knowledge has computer operations.
Yeah, it would be computer operations.
Okay, cool. I have one rank in that, so 1263.
Yeah.
And you said a 2-step bonus
Yes, so minus D6.
minus D6.
Okay.
Yeah. I got a 14 on the D20, a 1 on the D6 for a total of 13. So I don't make it.
Nope.
Shockingly, I also got a 13, but in my case, that succeeds.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 1
So-
point.
Nice. So Felton actually will understand this a little better than you. A lot of this to Arthur is a kind of gobbledygook based on what you know about computers and API scripting. But somehow or another, Felton is able to make heads or tails of it. And from what he can tell, what he's talking about is not feasible.
It's not which?
Not feasible. It's
Not
like
feasible, okay.
it's like gobbledygook. It doesn't work. If
So-
you were to
so-
punch this into a programming, if you were to put this in like a file in code, the code would fail to run.
So it's using hardware in a way that requires metaphysical manipulation, perhaps?
You don't have knowledge occult, correct?
Oh, right. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
But hang on. The reason I asked that, do you actually mention that out loud? The idea that could it be metaphysically connected? Because
Well,
Arthur does.
my character did previously speculate about whether that face on the computer screen was a ghost. So it would make sense for him to be like, if this feels like code that would only work if a ghost was using it.
Like a ghost in the machine. As weird as it sounds, like your character right now is probably like, because he's new to the Hoffman Institute, he's probably being like, could it be a ghost? Man, that kind of sounds stupid. But if you mention that out loud to Arthur, who I believe has knowledge occult, would be
Yep.
entitled to a knowledge occult roll to see what he thinks about it, to see how he processes that.
Let's see.
While this goes on, I'm going to shoot Jonas a text. I want him to run a background check on the Brown and Reach consulting company.
Perfect. He texts you back pretty quickly and tells you that he'll have to get back to you on it. That at cursory glance, they don't have anything in the Hoffman files on them, but he'll tap some of his resources and see what he can find out, but it may take him a few days.
And I turn to the two computer whizzes. And can you guys run a trace program on the network or something?
We don't have access.
Yeah.
Access.
Can't you just connect a computer to the network? Or
Sad
Like-
computer noises.
Like I said, we don't have access to do that. So
Yeah, they're fairly locked down.
Yep.
Oh yeah, so
they're all
did
connected to the same network, right?
Out loud.
Real quick though, we do need to go back. So Arthur,
Okay.
Since Felton does kind of half pose out loud that this doesn't make any sense, could this be something metaphysical? You would be, if you want to make the roll, you can make an occult knowledge roll
Okay, I'll check that. I think I need
and
a
see
third-
see if there's anything in your occult knowledge that could do something like this.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. I'm just looking to see.
Because I believe you have occult knowledge, right?
Yep, I have lore, occult lore. I have actually all the lores at 1 rank. So
Okay, good. We need some of the lore.
right, I got an 8 and needed a 13, so I made this one at least.
Okay, you got this one. Okay, gravy. That works for me. There's no entity that you can think of offhand, but the idea of it being metaphysical makes a lot of sense when combining everything together. The way the students are behaving, the the face in the machine, uh, the fact that there doesn't seem to be any logs, all of that like screams somebody has messed with magic at some point, even incidentally.
Okay, so this definitely feels like magic, not
Yep.
not fringe science or psychics.
No.
Or that.
No, this is somebody who may, like I said, if you'd gotten a better result, you only got an ordinary result, I believe.
Yep, that's right.
And so if you'd gotten like good or amazing, you could have narrowed it down a little more. But as far as you're concerned, this could even be like somebody mucking around with like an occult book, not knowing what they were doing.
Okay, yeah.
And unleashed something.
I've heard rumors of people accidentally unsealing demons simply by reading the book that sealed them. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's just a story I heard.
Yep. You know what? Eddie, your phone pings. You gonna check it?
Yeah.
It is a text message from an unknown number.
I read the text message.
Okay. It introduces it and says, "Hi, my name is Robert Halston."
Robert Paulson.
Halston, the guy you've been looking
Halston.
for.
Yeah, the guy whose LinkedIn we're looking at, who's been dead for 2 years.
Yep. And now he's texting
Text
you.
message?
Yes. He text messages you and tells you that he would like to meet.
How did you get my number?
He sends back, it's easy to do when you have the access I have. As you're reading this text, you are getting heebie-jeebies from him. Something feels way off.
I showed the text message to my buddies,
Okay.
and I text back, where do you want to meet?
About that time, you hear a knock on your door at the hotel.
I guess he wants to meet right here. I'm getting my gun out. I don't know if it works on ghosts, but I'm going to be ready in any case.
You undead? Shoot him in the head, just make sure.
I'll pull my gun too.
Who's
Is
opening?
there any links that I could click on?
No.
Good. I wasn't going
Hey, Beretta, nice.
to.
Yes. Who's opening the door? Nobody's opened the door yet.
I will open the door as
In the doorway is a fairly handsome young man. Tall, kind of statuesque. Blonde hair, blue eyes. He's a little Aryan.
Does he
And
look like the same kid from the yearbook?
He does. But he looks much better built and better put together. And he's wearing a dark suit.
Oh, I put my gun away. Oh, sorry. You scared the crap out of me. You're Robert, correct?
Says, "I am." And he has a weird smile on his face. And he holds out his hand.
I want to examine him for, like, I'll reach out a hand and shake his hand, but I want to
Okay.
examine him if he has any surgical scars or pieces of metal prods.
Give me
you know,
a
like
perception awareness.
like
Awareness perception.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
Go ahead and give me a perception or awareness perception. See what you see on him.
Oh, dear God. My perception is, let me double check really quick. Perception. Perception is under will. Perception. I have to roll under a 12.
It's just a standard check down. So
Rolled a 9.
You do not see any scars, but you do notice a silver chain hanging around his neck that goes up under his shirt.
Silver chain. What's this, sir? I yank on it.
You pull it out, and it appears to be a normal necklace with a strange looking symbol on it hanging off of it.
What does the symbol look like?
It
I hand
appears
back?
to be. It looks like an old iron key, but behind it is crossed a wand and a sword.
Okay, hold on. I need to cross off one of the usual suspects. My list is getting smaller. Out of character.
Hey, look, guys, I'm trying to run this the way you run an investigative game. It's not my fault you got a handsy guy.
All right. Against my better judgment, I'm going to look to my two friends and like, calm down. And I'm going to lead them inside the hotel room. And you wanted to talk? We could talk.
He carries that same strange smile and says, "Perfect. I know you've been looking for me."
Yeah. As far as I'm aware, that you're dead.
He kind of waves his hand over his body. Does this look dead to you?
No, of course not.
Start poking him
Why-
and see if he feels undead.
There was a news report that you died 5 years ago.
Is that fake?
People are so easy to manipulate when you want to.
All right, explain yourself.
Well, quite simply, once they found me, I had to disappear.
Who's they?
My friends.
Once they found you, you had to disappear.
Power comes at a cost, and the powerful are always targets.
Hold on, I'm typing.
You're
Or Hawkman, take over.
somebody.
Try and write down the chain.
Okay, so you have a goal here, presumably. What would that be?
Well, I simply wanted to clear the air with those who would oppose a good thing.
Do you feel that it's a good thing that these students are being passed through without earning it?
Absolutely. They're doing more good for the world than even they know.
In what way?
The key they hold is much, much larger.
Do they have to pass college to do good for the world, though?
Hey guys, who has the book?
Yeah, one of you guys did grab that book, didn't you?
Yeah.
Can't remember who grabbed it.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
remember.
We'll just
I'll just
assume
put
it's
on my
somewhere in the
jacket.
room. Yeah, I was gonna say. I assume it's somewhere in the room.
Yeah.
All right.
he looks at you though when you ask if they have to pass college. He says, "We need them in the highest positions."
Yes, but what are your goals? What do you need them for? What are they going to do?
Well, utopia isn't formed in a day.
Can you repeat that last part?
He quite simply just told you they're trying to create utopia.
I create a utopia. So I take the book of Solomon's Key, and do you remember this?
He laughs and says, "That book is such childish nonsense.
Why'd you check it out?
I was young, naive, stupid even."
Everybody has to start somewhere. But where are you at now? What's the book you read these days?
We don't use books. Books are so outdated.
Yes. Once heard a saying, someone said about the truly powerful wizards. The powerful wizards are not the ones who read the books. Those are books written by other, more powerful wizards. No, the truly powerful are the ones who are writing the books. Not really sure if that applies to you or not, though.
He chuckles at that and he says, "More aptly, a wise man once said that if you control the children, you control the society." And yes, he's quoting both Stalin and Hitler.
Yeah, that tracks.
Oh, that's
actually.
That's how you build a utopia. You got to break a bunch of eggs, right?
These people are so easy to manipulate. This was put into place well before they brought me along.
Why did they choose you?
I had certain qualities they found attractive.
I guess you had certain things to offer their cause that they found that they needed.
Mostly, I was highly charismatic. You see, I have a way of getting people to do what I want.
Okay.
Is his pupils dilated?
No. Actually,
Okay.
when you look at his eyes are almost dead. It's almost like he's not really staring at you.
He has his face pointed towards you.
Yeah, pretty much. And he has not dropped that kind of weird smirk the whole time.
All right. I'm going to give a look to my buddies, and I'm pretty sure Felton knows what's going to happen because he's rambunctious. I'm going to try to tackle him to the ground.
As you move towards him, he moves with lightning speed
Oh,
and is
dear
at
God.
the door with his hand on the handle. "Don't worry, gentlemen. We'll be in touch." And with that, he opens the door, walks back into the night, and the door slowly shuts, leaving you kind of on your hands and knees where he was.
Okay, so he somehow closes the door without touching it. Okay. Yep. That throws off all of the red flags.
He's not creepy at all.
Was him manipulating the door at a distance, or was it just the door with like a spring on it closing as normal?
Either way, this guy is giving. So immediately, all three don't even need intuition rolls for this. That dude is creepy.
Yes.
Like,
It rules out cyborgs, but I don't know about aliens and magicians. Jesus.
I mean, just like
With the key of Solomon and all the
Yeah.
all the occult stuff, I think we're definitely leaning towards magic.
and the fact that he moved with lightning speed and like it was normal.
Yep, that scared the crap out of me. Intuition is a
Yeah, you don't
wisdom.
have to. You don't have to roll it. Don't worry about it. This guy is so apparently just something's off. You don't even need to worry about it. This dude, like, it's not heebie-jeebies this time. He doesn't give you like the oh my god, there's something wrong kind of feeling. This guy gives you like you feel like you just sat in the room with evil.
Ugh.
All right, from an occult perspective, did I notice anything that that rings a bell with stuff that I might have read before?
You're not familiar with the symbol around his neck once you saw it, but the way he's talking, you are fairly certain that he's become involved with some type of cult.
Yes.
You can't pinpoint the cult, but this is definitely the work of a larger group.
I checked my phone to see if I get a message back from Jonas, but he said it might take a while.
Yeah, you don't. You do not have a message back from him yet. Like I said, he's going to have to tap his resources for you. So that it might take him a day or two.
So not any time soon, relatively
Nope.
speaking.
And we are coming up on the end of the game, so we'll just go ahead and wrap up here because it's actually a logical stopping point. But before that happens, lightning crashes outside. It begins to rain. All the power in the room goes out. All you have now is the glow of your laptop that's still open.
Oh, that's not good.
Is there anything on the laptop?
It's just the frozen web page you guys were at last. And the creepy thing is when you go to check it, there's a new article posted and it's just titled ha ha ha.
So he updated the web page while talking to us and before the power went out. Okay.
Yep.
Well, he did say he had the kind of access that makes everything easy.
Guys creeped out by him yet? Either way, gentlemen, let me do the outro and then I'll handle the achievements and all that fun stuff once we're off.
Awesome.
Thanks to anyone who watched. We got 3 going right now. I think that's our peak is 3. But for you guys that are watching, appreciate it. For anyone watching in the future, I appreciate it as well. Hopefully you guys are having as much fun with this as we seem to be. As always, you guys feel free to leave thoughts, comments, questions, concerns. Just follow the 3 rules. No ad hominems, no picking fights. And for the love of Christ, do not leave me college dissertations. Other than that, guys, we hope to see you guys around the game table at some point.